If we get 16 tokens times $14.04, that's $224 a day and 64 cents. Times that by 30 days, this thing's paying me $6,739.20 per month right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you a node project that is earning me far more money than what StrongNode is earning me. Now, for a quick recap, the StrongBlock, if you don't know about StrongBlock, I'm going to give you a quick, maybe a 30 to 60 second recap here. But before I do, let me just say this. On my channel, many of you know that I love to talk about the pros and the cons of crypto projects that I'm invested in. I like to look at the good, the bad, the ugly, and I make my investing decisions according to that. So what you're not going to hear me talk about is 100% moon talk. I'm very biased, and I try to be objective about when I'm biased with a project. I'm invested in both of these projects, but this node is earning me far more than I'm earning in StrongBlock. I'm going to cover 8 reasons why I currently like this node better than StrongBlock. And then I'm going to also share with you 3 things that I like about StrongBlock better than this previous project, because I believe it's important that you understand how I make my investment decisions. Those of you that are subscribed to that newsletter, I'm going to go through my entire watch list on CoinMarketCap. There's about 20-something projects and cryptocurrencies that I pay attention to. I'm planning to put together a video specifically within the next 2 days for those of you that are subscribed to our newsletter, just to give you a heads up on what I'm paying attention to right now, because there's a lot of things I'm paying attention to that I don't have time to be able to cover on this channel. So I'm going to be doing that for my newsletter subscribers. All right, let's get into this. So StrongBlock, if you don't know what StrongBlock is, the idea behind StrongBlock was they were the first project that tried to create nodes as a service. And to be very clear, there's a lot of node projects out there, but really StrongBlock is the only one that actually was trying to create an actual node to service the community. There's a lot of like investment type projects that will call themselves nodes, including the one that we're going to talk about today. To set up a node, you had to deposit 10 strong tokens. Once you deposit those 10 strong tokens, they're gone. That was basically a donation to set up the node. This is an actual RPC node. So these are literally people setting up real nodes. And they got Ethereum nodes and Polygon nodes. There's some differences in the rewards, but for the intent of this video, the idea was you put in 10 strong tokens, you set up a node, and you got back roughly just under 1% per day in strong tokens. So 10 tokens, set up one node, you would get like 0.92 strong tokens per day. The project in some ways has done really, really well. They've set up a ton of nodes. We can take a quick look at that. They got over 300,000 nodes that are set up. However, from a business perspective, the business hasn't done really well. What the CEO was trying to go for, it just hasn't worked. Other blockchains has not flocked to this idea the way that the CEO and the development team thought that they would. Now they're in the middle of transitioning, and they're going to be setting up their own strong chain, and I'm personally very optimistic for that. The challenge with StrongBlock, though, is their earnings have gone down significantly, and the price of the token has went down significantly as well. Right here we can see we're at $125. Literally, I was buying tokens, months ago as high as $800 per token. Let's take a look right here. This is 3 months. Okay, so you can see, in fact, if you go to 1 year, it went way up, pulled back, and it started going up again, and now we're jumping off a cliff here, diving. But the node that we're talking about today is doing a lot of things even better than Strong really did. And I'm going to, like I said, cover through 8 different concepts that I've written down here that I like better about this project. The first one is this project earns more money than StrongBlock, meaning as a business. The underlying business entity or the developers are able to use the tokenomics to be able to earn more money. Right now with StrongBlock, the main money that, as far as we know, that is earned is what the development team holds in the Strong token. The problem is they also have to pay this token out in rewards. What you do with Kubo to set up a node, you just don't buy Kubo tokens and submit them like you do on the Strong token. You buy Kubo and you also buy the DAI token, the US dollar stablecoin. You pair them together and you mint a node. When you do that, what happens is you're basically giving Kubo liquidity that they're able to stake on the quick swap. As a liquidity provider, they typically can earn somewhere around 20% per year. When you mint a node, part of it gets staked as liquidity. I think it's like 40-something%. I can't remember off the top of my head. But part of it gets staked as liquidity, and part of it gets broken down and they use it to create a treasury. But that treasury also invests in other yield farming, mostly conservative, a lot of diversification in the yield farming. I did a previous video talking about Kubo, and I actually showed you a link where you could look at what they've invested in. But mostly it's major liquidity pairings on the various exchanges. And they're earning, like I said, 20-something% on average APY already on the treasury. They already have an established income stream that is profitable for the project. And I think that is huge. Another thing that I like is I'm actually earning more. Now, this just comes down to the fact that the price has trended upward, but I'm earning more with Kubo than I am with Strong. Now, if you want to know exactly what I've invested in Kubo, I'll show you where you can get that info. If you look over here at the Kubo token, first of all, the project is new. I didn't even mention that. That's one thing. I think they started on the, January 13th or 15th of January, and it's trended upward. Now, they've had a bit of a pullback. They were due for it, and maybe, hopefully, it continues to trend upward. So this, not financial advice, by the way, but this may be a good time for someone to get in, and I'm not saying you should get in. This is a better price than what I got in at, I'll tell you that. But this project is still paying me about $6,000 per month, and I'll break that down to you a little bit later in the video as well. I have eight nodes with StrongBlock, and right now I'm getting under $3,000 a month, I believe, if I just did that math right in my head. So with Kubo, I'm getting over $6,000 a month, and if this price continues to go up, I mean, listen, if we go back to where we were at a few days ago, $30, all of a sudden I'm going to be sitting at $400+ a day. I'm a little over $200 now. So you're talking about $400+ a day. If we see higher prices, I mean, Strong went all the way to over $1,000 per token. Now, I'm not saying Kubo is going to do that, but let's just say that we get to $100 per token. That you're talking about an easy 5x. All of a sudden, I'm doing $1,000 a day in Kubo. Now, admittedly, I got a much better entry. I got into Kubo a lot sooner than I did with Strong, so that plays a part into it as well. The third thing that I like about Kubo better than Strong, it's already a more sustainable token than the Strong token was. What do I mean by that? So Strong pays out 1% per day, roughly 0.92%, I think it is, per day. Kubo pays out half that. In fact, they even pay out even less than that for most people. Watch this. These are the different node types you can set up. So you can set up a small node. It only takes 25 Kubo and 25 DAI. Remember how I told you have to pair each? And I can show you how to do that here in a moment. In fact, let's go ahead and do that real quick. You come over here. You buy a Kubo bag. You click there. It takes you to Quick Swap. Click I understand. Buy your Kubo. Then you come over here. You buy a DAI bag. Purchase that. DAI stablecoin. Click continue. Once you do that, then you come over here to mint a liquidity node. Just click. Notice it says liquidity node because they're using that to provide liquidity. Select a node. Click next. Click on that. Click on that. Click mint node. You're done. Your principal's locked forever, just like on the Strong. Except it's going to liquidity. Most of this is part of this goes towards a separate treasury, but most of this goes to liquidity for the Kubo token. I think that's a genius idea that they own their own liquidity and that it's earning revenue for them. I think that's incredible. However, pay attention to this. The types of nodes. By default, Strong has one node type that pays out almost 1% a day. But with Kubo, it's 0.2%, 0.3%, 0.4, 0.5. You don't get 1% until you come way up here and get this Giga, which is 5,000 Kubo and 5,000 DAI. The challenge with Strong, one of the reasons their prices drop so drastically is their rewards wallet. There's only so many Strong tokens, and their rewards wallet is getting depleted. Kubo, in its current state, can pay out rewards far longer, at least twice as long if they have the same amount of adoption. They may not have the same amount of adoption. I'll explain why a little later in the video, but if they had the same amount of adoption, they could pay out for twice as long. They'll probably get slower adoption and potentially could pay out, maybe 3 times as long as Strong paid out. Again, not financial advice. I'm just saying the way I see, because they're paying out far less rewards than what Strong is paying out. Fourth thing that I like about Kubo is that they have more buy pressure and less sell pressure. Here's what I mean by that. Right here, since you're not earning rewards as fast, you're not going to dump them as quick. So that creates less sell pressure. Plus, this whole incentive of like graduated node sizes increases the buy pressure, because you don't get 1% till you get way up here and get 5,000 Kubo and 5,000 DAI. But take a look at this. To go from this plank Kubo, you get basically 25 Kubo gets you 0.2% per day. Right here, 0.3%. That is almost a 50% increase from 0.2 to 0.3, almost 40-something%. Now, when you go from this, however you say that, femto Kubo, you go from this node to this node, that's almost a 30% increase in your earnings. You go from 0.4. Now look, that's like I think that's like a 17%, no, almost a 25% increase, like 22%. This is like a 17% increase in your earnings. So for a lot of people, if you can compound or save or dollar cost average in and get to a pico node, there's a lot of incentive to go a little bit further and get that nano node. Or a lot of incentive not to sell and keep compounding and get that nano node, just because their earnings go up on a percentage basis quite a bit from here to here. So I like that. I feel like it increases the buy pressure, at least early on. At least in this earlier phase of the project, I believe this absolutely increases the potential buy pressure. Another thing that I like about Kubo, because they have the smaller nodes, it's a lot less risk for people to get started. So I think that's really good for adoption. Where Strong has always been up to this point, they've been talking about forever changing it to you can set up like fractionalized nodes, so you don't need 10 Strong. Because when the Strong token was at $1,000, that was $10,000 just to get in. You couldn't even get in the door at that point in time unless you had 10 Strong, and Strong were at $1,000 each. With Kubo, they have these 25 Kubo nodes. And Kubo right now, I mean, even if it was $100, it's only $2,500 compared to when Strong was at $1,000. So I really like this right here. And again, I don't see Kubo going to $1,000. If they did, I guess that'd be a $25,000 node. The developer added these smaller nodes after the fact because the price went up far faster than he had anticipated. I do not see Kubo going to $1,000 per token. If it does, that will be amazing, but I don't see that happening. Another thing that I like about Kubo better than Strong right now, again, there's some things I like about Strong better, and I will touch on that towards the end of the video, I promise you. Right now, I'm just going through these 8 key points that I like better about Kubo. Another thing that I like better about Kubo is their path forward is a bit more clear. It's a pretty straightforward project. We're going to allow you to mint a node. We're going to use that to create a treasury and to own our liquidity, and we're going to earn a return for you. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. This is, in an oversimplified way, this is essentially like a Yearn protocol, except they're using a node model to do it. And you're giving them the liquidity right from the get-go. The moment you mint a node, they're able to use that to start earning some revenue. And they understand, like long-term, they know if they're as successful as they want to be, they're not going to be able to earn enough revenue to earn 0.5% per day in any stable way. They already know that. The developer has come out and said he's in multiple AMAs, and he's talked about this. You know, he's talked about there will come a point where we'll have to lower their earnings. The idea is hopefully the project is well adopted then. A lot of people on nodes. He said we'd have to get into the hundreds of thousands of nodes before that happens. Again, if we get to 300,000 nodes, maybe at that point they'll have to start scaling back the rewards. But they already know that. They've already communicated that. And that's always been extremely positive for me, because I think all of us understand you can't make 1% a day or 0.5% a day forever. That's just not possible. It's never been possible in the history of finance. So understanding that, hey, we can pay these rewards out now, but long term, we're not going to be able to do that. We'll have to make some adjustments. We already know that ahead of time. We understand that. See, I think that is incredible. I didn't say this. One thing I also like is that the treasury is being used in a relatively conservative way. Most of the treasury is not in high risk projects. And I think that's really, really good, because if you had a dev that was just trying to ape into every high-risk project, that would not be good for the protocol. And this dev seems to be very measured, and he's very transparent in what he's investing in. In fact, you can go look at the wallet online if you're in the Discord. 2 more things I like about Kubo, and then I'll go over to Strong. I like the fact that they're on the Polygon network. Transactions are way cheap. Every time you try to do something with Strong, you try to claim your rewards over here. Every time. It's like $100 at least for a gas fee. And it's extremely, extremely annoying. Where on Polygon, it's pennies. So you can take a small amount of rewards if you want. Like I collect on Polygon every day, just to show you what I'm earning. So I have 4 nodes right now. I have a mini node and a kilo node. I get 9 plus 7, 16 a day. So just do some quick math on that. So right now the token is at $14.09. Let's do a quick refresh. $14.04. If we get 16 tokens times $14.04. That's $224 a day and 64 cents. Times that by 30 days. This thing's paying me $6,739.20 per month right now. Of course, the price of the token goes up and down. We've already discussed that. But I think my personal opinion is we're going to see some upward momentum on that price, hopefully. And if we do, I mean, this could quickly, I could 3x this without much. That would be $18,000 a month. Now, right now, I'm withdrawing half and I'm taking the other half and I am compounding it. And if you want to know exactly how much I invested in the beginning, go watch my video where I broke down my earnings in February, because I started investing in this project in February. So I talk about what I invested in and how much I earned from each project. I'll link that video above. I'll put it in the description. You can go watch that video because I forget the exact number, but it's listed in that video. If I was getting in now, I would be getting in at a much better price because I got in around $19. Maybe it was over here. I got in around $19, and then I even picked some up towards the peak, by the way. I picked up some around $27. So this is even a better price than what I got in at. I'm not complaining. The earnings are still great, and I'm hopeful for where this project is going. It's still so early. It's still so new. The other thing that I like, and I'll go into that, the final thing about Kubo before I move over to Strong, is the growth potential. The growth potential is insane. This project only has 2,500 nodes. I think that is crazy. For a project that I think has this much potential, only 2,500 nodes. For a recap, let's go look at Strong again. 396,000. Let's just say they do 100,000 nodes on Kubo. That could be incredible. That could be absolutely incredible. And what it does is it allows the developers and the development team have more diversity in what they're investing in, potentially get some higher returns on smaller portions of the portfolio, but then able to use that treasury portfolio and to be able to get a lot more diversification, which creates more stability in the overall income coming into the treasury, coming into the protocol. By the way, I didn't go into this, but they also have like a buyback bot that takes portions of the earnings and it constantly buys back Kubo, which is another great thing to add buying pressure. And I didn't even talk about that in any depth, but that's another thing that's super cool about Kubo as a whole. Now, let me talk about what I like about Strong. 3 things I like about Strong that are very, very good. First of all, I think the Strong blockchain has far more potential. The Strong blockchain has not even been rolled out yet, but this project, they're creating their own blockchain. And when you hear them talk about the blockchain, what they're looking to do, I think the overall potential, even though it's still high risk, that's why the token's dropping, because we got to see that whole thing launch. I mean, when they launched the Strong blockchain and they talked about nodes as a service, sounded like such a great idea. Everybody was on board with it. The price just skyrocketed. But now they're talking about creating their own blockchain, and they're going to be changing things up quite a bit. And if you want me to make a video about that, I will. Just let me know down in the comments. If they can pull that off, and it's a huge feat, but if they can pull it off, I think the potential could be really, really staggering. Second thing about Strong that I like is that it's on Ethereum. Now, I know that's one of the things I liked about Kubo is that it's on Polygon. That's because Polygon is cheap. But I don't think Kubo's ever going to hit 396,000 nodes ever. And one of the reasons, there's a couple of reasons, but one of the main reasons I don't think it's ever going to hit that is because there's far more money on Ethereum. The idea of someone going from Ethereum to Polygon, most people have no idea how to do that. By the way, the easiest way to go from Ethereum to Polygon, to use a website called Change Now. I use this all the time. Change Now doesn't require you to do any KYC, AML. It's fast, it's easy. Just real quickly, all you have to do is come here. Sometimes when you see this counting, you just have to click away and click back and it'll clear up. Come here. Let's just say we wanted to, you would have to convert Strong to ETH. You could do that on Uniswap or whatever. So once you have your ETH, just click this. Come here and get Matic. And then you take the Matic and you come over to the website once you get it and you put buy Kubo. And then you convert the Matic. You'll have your Matic, your wallet will be connected. You use your Matic and buy Kubo. Now, sometimes they'll say that this pair is not available, but typically if you wait a couple of hours, you can come back and it will be available and you can make a transaction. There's just not the amount of money on Polygon as there is on Ethereum. So for whatever reason, even though transactions are faster, even though they're cheaper, and this is true for a lot of the chains, like there's AVAX is out there, Phantom's out there, all that stuff. And lately, I've not been delving into those blockchains a lot because there's just not the same amount of money on those blockchains. I've been doing a lot of focusing on blockchains like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain when it comes to like the layer 1 type solutions. I am on Polygon. I personally like Polygon, but just because I like it doesn't mean people are coming here and investing. But this project doesn't need to get 300,000+ nodes to be successful. I think it's going to be successful anyway, and I think the growth is going to be a little bit more organic, a little bit slower, but that's not a bad thing either. This is the thing I like most about Strong, and that is the CEO. So the StrongBlock CEO is a gentleman by the name of David Moss. He comes from the EOS project. That was an enormous project. Like, he's not, if you would have heard StrongBlock when it was getting launched and you looked at the tokenomics and you'd have thought, I don't know, I mean, can this be legit? But David Moss really has driven this forward, and he communicates often with the community as well through various AMAs. I mean, the man knows, he knows his stuff. He really is one of the who's who in crypto. When you compare the CEO of Kubo, look, this is this guy's first major project. I mean, he's excited, he's enthusiastic, but he doesn't have near the track record of David Moss. And I care more about a developer's track record than really anything else. So that's one thing that I like. Even though I think StrongBlock has a lot of hurdles to overcome. I think they got the biggest hurdles to overcome based on where they're projecting they want this company or this business or this project to go. I think they got enormous hurdles to overcome. But David Moss, I think, is if anybody can do it, he might be able to pull it off. Now, all that being said, I'm extremely bullish on Kubo. The thing is paying me so well. None of this is considered financial advice. I wanted to do a little bit of a comparison for Kubo and StrongBlock for you. On the end screen, you can go ahead and watch the video to find out exactly how much I earned from all of my projects and passive income for the month of February. And I also plan to do a very similar video for the month of March. Stay tuned. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe in two things. I believe in passive income, and I believe in cryptocurrency. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.